how will they fare against Tottenham? Because they've had a good start to the season, unbeaten, 3 wins, 2 draws. What have you made of Spurs so far?
I mean, they've just got the job done. I think they look devastating on the counter-attack. I don't think they're playing through teams. I don't think they found their rhythm, but they are doing what's needed to be done. And they look physically imposing. I like the recruitment he's brought in and their mentality shift as well, but I think it's more counter-attacking. I still don't think they've found their flow just yet, but they're getting the results.
They've been tough to beat, but not the prettiest to watch. That's probably a fair assessment of Spurs. But will the fans care as long as they're picking up those points?
No, absolutely not. Again, maybe it changes. Maybe it changes if they stop picking up the points. But I think there's been a lot of enthusiasm around Tottenham at the start of this season. I know some of them have kind of fancied them to challenge for the title. Maybe that's been watered down a bit by seeing City just be unbelievable with Haaland. But yeah, there's massive optimism there. But you're right, I've not been that convinced. You know, if you're talking about a title challenger these days, you need to be unbelievable. And they're better than they have been in the last 2 or 3 seasons. You know, the Pochettino season, which was ages ago now, when he ended up going halfway through, better than the Mourinho season, better than at the start of last season with Nuno. I know we're only a few games in, but they do look much better than they have been. But the title's another leap, and there's been a few games where they have been fairly average. Like Karen says, they've been getting the job done, but I don't think that's massively sustainable.
Does Antonio Conte have a decision to make on whether he starts Son or not? Because he hasn't scored yet this season. There's been a few rumblings about whether or not he should. And when Richarlison has come onto the pitch, he's actually made a pretty decent impact. Is there a potential that he could start instead of Son?
I think he'll still stick with Son. I think he'll wait and try and give him that confidence and get that kind of first goal, and then he'll be all right. But you're right, Richarlison has been a breath of fresh air. I think he came on against Chelsea, made a huge difference. I think he puts himself about. I think he obviously annoys the opposition fans. But in terms of what Conte wants from him, I think he's perfect. It will be a matter of time, but I think for the next couple of games, we'll try and stick with Son because he's so imperative to Tottenham.
And Romero should be available back for this game. Have they missed him?
I don't know, because again, when they had him, it wasn't like they blew Wolves off the pitch a fortnight ago. You know, when they played against Chelsea, they were lucky to get that point. So, I mean, it's obviously good to have him back, but in terms of how they missed him, I think they need more than just Romero back to kind of find that extra gear. But it's obviously a big help because he's probably their best defender. Been a really good buy, and they got him permanently now, so that's obviously good news.
Is there a different feeling around Spurs, though, Karen, this season? With Antonio Conte there having a full pre-season to work with the team, they're being drilled and trained harder than they ever have before. And even though the performances haven't been that entertaining, they look fitter and sharper than they ever have done.
Yeah,
do you think there's a different feeling they could go on and finally win a trophy?
Yeah, I think so. I think you mentioned pre-season. Antonio doesn't like not having a pre-season. He wants to get his squad together. They recruited early, so he has that pre-season. I thought it was interesting the players he brought in are all over 6 foot because he wants to be intimidating. I think he's felt previously that Spurs are a little bit timid, a little bit soft. You see on the side of the pitch as well, they want to be intimidating, and that's the mentality shift that he's trying to put into the Spurs side. And you need that to win trophies. You need something about you, and I think they will win a trophy this season.